Since the second half of 2024, a lot of smartphone brands have been releasing budget and entry-level device below $100 that comes with a supposedly 120Hz refresh rate, and brands like Tecno, Infinix, Itel, and even Redmi have been releasing this device to their consumers and their audience to purchase, which I think is like a marketing scheme just to sell devices to people for a supposedly 120Hz refresh rate screen. The fact is that this feature is actually on these devices, but it is only on one section of the device, which is in the settings, and you can't tell me you will buy a device just to try out 120Hz high refresh rate only in the settings. That is madness.
Oh, you crazy.
I haven't used any of these devices released by these certain brands I mentioned in this video earlier, but I know someone that has used most of these devices, and he's going to tell you his experience using these devices with this supposedly 120Hz refresh rate feature.
120Hz on budget phone displays is the new trend, and my thought about this is I don't think it's necessary to give budget and entry level phones that cost under $100 120Hz, even though the chipset that they mostly use on these phones is the MediaTek Helio G81 and it supports 120Hz refresh rate. I feel it's a bit over exaggerated, and when you get to the most useful parts where you need the high refresh rate, you hardly get that 120Hz most of the time. I've been testing different phones under $100, under 150k. Most of them claim to have 120Hz, but when you really dig deep, it's mostly 90Hz, and the only time you get full 120Hz refresh rate is maybe if you're scrolling through the UI, if you're scrolling in the settings, or probably if you're just scrolling through the different apps. But let's say you're trying to play a game and you need the high refresh rate to kind of play a role, it hardly gets to that number. I've tested the Redmi 14C, Hot 50i, Smart 9, Pop 9. All of them claim to have this high refresh rate, but in reality, they don't have. It's not really up to 120Hz. The best thing for these phones should be 90Hz refresh rate max. And
if you are enjoying this video so far, a sub to the channel will be refreshing.
And another thing I need to point out quickly is that this high refresh rate sucks a lot of battery from these phones. If you keep them idle, they can't really go all the way down to save battery life. So having a very high refresh rate is definitely going to tell on the battery. My suggestion is to keep these phones at 90Hz refresh rate max, and maybe work on the resolution. Maybe give us 1080p at this price point. We'll really appreciate it. I think it will even be better than the 120Hz refresh rate they are giving us. And also software support. I think these phones have gotten to a stage where we need at least 2 years of software support to kind of give them long life, as the brands claim. So that's just my own take on 120Hz on budget phones right now.
Let me know in the comment section below, will you buy a device just for 120Hz refresh rate in this price category? Let me know in the comment section below.
I'll see you on my channel.